Okay, we'll give things a couple of moments and then we'll kick off. So my name is Eddie Thompson. I am Lead Solutions Engineer here for Sumo in APAC, and today I'm going to be talking to you about software development optimization, and more specifically our Sumo solution for software development optimization. So I'm going to talk a little bit here about observability value and where this sort of fits in with our various use cases. So at Sumo, we sort of have some things which we're doing across DevOps, security, and what today I'm going to talk about specifically is this middle column here. So improving software velocity and quality. So how can we actually provide observability to your development pipeline? And specifically, we're talking about how we can monitor the actual software pipeline, identify any process efficiencies and failures, and also determine root causes of process issues and how we can optimize those. So the software development software development ecosystem has become hugely more broad and complex. There's so many different toolchain providers, infrastructure providers, CI/CD providers, cloud providers, all interconnected, doing different things. But what we're sort of looking to provide here in that sort of modern software development process is some benefits around performance benchmarking, end-to-end optimization. And what does that mean for the customer? Faster release velocities, improved reliability and security, and greater team collaboration. So we're looking at how we provide that end-to-end visibility and across your sort of development lifecycle. The key features that we're bringing here are real-time actionable insights, and these are based on DORA metrics for the entire organization. We're looking at logs and events from everything from your sort of planning software like Jira through your development and build chains, right through to your incident management and alerting through things like PagerDuty. We're automatically enriching this data so that you're able to see things happening across the entire solution. And it's also extensible, so you can enrich the data in ways which are meaningful to your team. So if you've got a specific team or business unit or product repo that you want to be able to slice and dice that data by, you can. You're not sort of stuck with what we decide for you. So, quick architecture overview. You're able to deploy this via Terraform in minutes. We're able to grab tools right across your life cycle from things like GitHub, Jenkins, Jira, PagerDuty, and all of this is automatically normalized. We normalize it to a common schema, which means that it doesn't matter which tooling you are using, even if it's not on our supported list. As long as you can determine those same sort of events, we can bring that data in, normalize it to the schema, and you're able to populate it to all of the out-of-the-box dashboards as well. And the why of this, and the why is that high-performing software delivery teams win. When compared to low-performing teams, elite performers, they deploy code much more frequently. Their lead times from commit to deploy are far shorter, so 106 times faster. They recover faster from incidents, and they deploy 7 times lower breaking changes to production. So over the years, so DevOps, which is the, DORA, have identified 4 key performance benchmarks, which is what we use here within our software development solution to allow you to benchmark yourself. This isn't something that we've cooked up at Sumo. This is an industry standard. And these are broken out into 2 measures of agility and 2 of reliability. The first being deployment frequency, that is how often your code is deployed to production. Obviously, faster is better. The second being the lead time from changes, and that's defined as the time from the merge commit to production deployment. Shorter is better. On the reliability side, we have the mean time to recovery, which is how long it takes to recover from production incidents. Obviously, shorter is better there. And finally, change failure rate. So the percentage of your production deployments that subsequently require remediation, and you're aiming for a lower number there as well. So I don't want to bore you to death with slides, so I'll jump into the live demo and you can see it in the product. So I have here a dashboard. It's our DORA metrics overview, and you can see here I've got my my 4 key DORA metrics: deployment frequency, lead time for changes, change failure rate, and time to restore service. So these are the headline metrics, but then I've also got my trending over the prior couple of weeks as well. I suppose the one that jumps out to me quickly is that my lead time for changes is in yellow, and I can see that that is trending up. And that says to me that I might have some issues within my org here. Now, what is interesting to note is that all of these are live computations of these 4 key DORA metrics. So this isn't something where we're getting weekend reports and sort of calculating that. We're pulling this data live as it comes through, and this is an automatic live calculation. So you know up to the minute what's actually happening. So I'm going to dive into this lead time trend here. So I've got a dashboard for my lead time, which allows me to drill into that metric and see what's going on with a bit more detail. So I can see here things like my headline metric, which repos have the slowest lead time, which services, which teams, and importantly, which pipelines. So I've got a couple here: master build test and master deploy, and I can see that master build test is definitely taking the lion's share of my time there. And we don't just sort of leave it at that level. This is something where we can delve in a bit deeper and investigate what's going on. So I've got a pipeline monitoring dashboard as well. So I can jump over to pipeline monitoring, pipeline stage monitoring, and this is giving me some things like my pipeline execution counts, stages, which stages have been failing, and also my average pipeline durations. And I can see these split out by pipeline name. Master deploy here, quite small. Master build test, really quite large. And visually, it's easy for me to determine that I've got one step here within my pipeline, regression tests, which seems to be taking the lion's share of my build time in the pipeline here. So I can actually filter this down directly. So I can filter down to master build test, and let's see, what was it? Regression tests. And so this is actually letting me filter down to what's actually going on. And I can see here even down to the step level within this particular stage. So what are my top 10 slowest steps? Run back-end ETL tests, and that's taking 23 hours. So everything else is happening quite quickly. So it's obviously that this stage here is a big part of my problem. So I can get someone to have a look at that, evaluate what's going on and seeing if we can take that back. But the important thing there is being able to look at a high-level metric and then be able to identify a likely cause and then find the underlying cause within your system quickly. And that's the real power of being able to have not only these metrics that you're calculating, but also the full set of data to be able to sort of drill into those underlying root causes. So that's how we can sort of drill into what's going on. I'll take you through a little bit more of what we've got within the product so you can see. So the pipeline overview, this is really handy because it gives you sort of a right to left view of what's going on within your sort of development org. So I can see my pipeline execution trends. They're traveling across pretty statically. my last alerts that have happened. So what are my top services with critical alerts? What are my last 10 most recent critical alerts? And I can drill into those directly with PagerDuty if I wish. Where are my last 10 failed deploys? So if I want to see my last sort of failed production deploy, I can open it up and it drops me straight into the GitHub issue. So this one's, okay, this is actually expired, but it gives me a particular deep link into the commit. So I can see a problem and actually dive directly into that underlying issue on GitHub and see what's going on. I can see what's going on with my latest build. So where are my last failed builds? So I can see the problem here and what's been done to remediate that, if anything, through to my pull requests, and even down to my most recent critical issues in Jira. And also having a look at my issues trend. So how long have these issues taken to close? So that's giving me a real sort of view of like how things are progressing across the cycle. Now, we actually provide a lot of other information here. So I can see here I've got things like alerts, builds, deployments for that pipeline monitoring, and also some other reports that I can drop into there. I'll show you a few of them here. I won't go through everything. So pull requests. This is so powerful in some of the insights that it can provide. So being able to see just the volume of PRs that have been created versus merged versus declined, which services have the most pull requests, which branches, which reviewers have been assigned the most pull requests, who are my top 10 reviewers by average time to close, what are my top repos by average time to close. And what's really, really important here is a lot of the time we spend so much time trying to optimize our pipelines, optimize our build chains, and we don't always look for the human element which is holding us up. So if you're blowing through hours in pull request time within your development cycle, trying to optimize seconds in your build chain doesn't always make sense. So this is where we can see who is doing well and how can we learn better from them, and also where are we falling down? Do we need to train more people to be able to review these PRs? Why is this particular hold up? And then also just being able to see which things are taking the longest and what's my most recent stuff. So really handy thing there. Moving over to the builds, being able to quickly get a heads up view of what's going on, but also being able to filter down and drill in, and also by service, by team. And when we talk about extensibility, this is one of the other places where you can tag your data however you wish, add this to the schema, and be able to filter down on these really quite a straightforward manner. Being able to see heads up, what's going on, how many builds, what are my build results distribution been look like, which services have what's the distribution of builds by service and by team. Being able to track successes versus failures. Are things tracking along as I would expect? Am I seeing spikes? What are my most recent failed builds and my most recent successful builds? Moving over to alerts. And so alerts, people sometimes think, well, that's incident management. What's that got to do with development? Well, we've come a long way since the days of throwing code over the fence, and that's ops problem now. So alerts matter because that is a direct reflection of the code quality that we're deploying. So being able to see where are my alerts by priority, where are my alerts by service? Do I have any specific outliers? Do I have one service which is causing all of my alerts? Might be indicative of code quality problems that we need to address. Alerts by team. how long are they taking to create? How long are they taking to close? Yeah, what is my distribution by services? Being able to see this visually is really helpful to be able to provide comparisons and spot outliers in our data. Now, I've taken you through a few things here, but one of the things that's sort of like really important to realize, and I touched on this earlier, but how do we make this all happen? So because we are ingesting these events across your entire software development lifecycle, and we're normalizing this data to a common schema, it makes it really easy for you to derive value for this. It doesn't take long to set up. You don't have to do a heap of customization. And yeah, you can deploy it via Terraform literally in minutes. So we make it easy for you to benchmark and optimize your software development and delivery performance across that entire DevOps lifecycle. This software development optimization solution means that you can release code faster, improve application reliability, and increase collaboration across your various development teams. So I want to thank you very much for your time. And if you would like to check this out, if you're not already a Sumo customer, please load up a free trial. Otherwise, if you are a Sumo customer, this is available to you now in the app catalog. Check it out and see how you go. Thanks very much. Cheers.